David Maraga, begins his terminal leave today, ahead of his January official retirement.
Maraga exits the judicial scene after a tenure marked with constant friction with the executive.
Now tonight, Mwangi reports on Maraga's last fight with President Uhuru Kenyatta over the Building Bridges initiative and explains why the race for Maraga's succession has already begun in earnest.
Inking his place in global records as the chair of the first judicial bench in Africa to nullify re-election of a sitting president, David Maraga has certainly stepped on many toes and been a serious thorn in the political flesh of the President Uhuru Kenyatta administration. And on the same day, he proceeded on terminal leave ahead of his official retirement on the 12th of January next year. Maraga had a final brawl with Kenyatta, poking holes into the president and former Prime Minister Raila Odinga championed Building Bridges Initiative constitutional amendment push that seeks to establish office of an ombudsman to receive public complaints against judicial staff, including judges.
The result of the BBI proposal is a direct conflict and a duplication of roles between the ombudsman and the Judicial Service Commission.
The BBI referendum bill is already in the hands of electoral body IEBC, which has since slammed the door on any further amendment of the document.
We are making our position clear, and we will send the BBI Secretariat a copy of this report. If they ignore it, the public already knows the position of the judiciary.
Yet as Maraga exits the stormy stage, marked with endless spats between the judiciary and the President Kenyatta-led executive arm of government, a vicious backroom succession power play to pick the next Chief Justice and President of the Supreme Court is already at a fever pitch. The latest signs of this being a petition filed by activist Okia Omutata, seeking to block Maraga's deputy, Philomena Mwilu, from taking up the Chief Justice's duties in acting capacity. Omutata argues there are 4 cases questioning Mwilu's integrity, all pending before the JSC, and others before the courts, adding that should she assume Maraga's roles, it is likely to bring the judiciary to disrepute. This suit now escalating politics for reconstitution of the Supreme Court ahead of the 2022 polls, as the JSC also scouts for a suitable replacement for retired Supreme Court Judge Jackton Ojwang.
The executive is going to get very interested because more than ever before, it is obvious that the Chief Justice, what he stands for, influences many things the executive will want to do. For instance, independence and the compromise and the political stage of the person.
It should be the jurisprudential quotient of the candidate. Affiliation with the system, either the judiciary itself, the legislature, or the executive, to me should not be a consideration.
Among those touted as likely candidates to fit Maraga's shoes is Appellate Court President William Ouko and, interestingly, former Attorney General Githu Muigai, who resigned in January 2019. With the name of Supreme Court Judge Njoki Ndongo also emerging from some quarters, though analysts argue her chances at the job largely depend on Mwilu's fate due to the gender parity question. Even then, former High Court Judge and Kilifi Senator Stewart Madzayo argues what Kenya needs is a progressive Maraga successor to advance not only the infrastructural expansion of the judiciary, but also the jurisprudential bar set by the Supreme Court's 2017 nullification of the presidential election results. And with the 2022 political drumbeats already at a climax with the BBI referendum push, reconstitution of the apex court no doubt ranks high among the priorities of key power brokers as Maraga exits the scene. Murimi, Mwangi, KTN News.
Well, that story by Murimi Mwangi takes us to a short commercial break. But before we do go for a break, just a reminder of our conversation that we'll be having later on in the broadcast. We've been seeing an increase in cases of teenagers who have been caught or arrested allegedly, having underage drinking, underage intake of drugs. And we want to know on our Biki tonight
who exactly is to blame for this particular teenagers who have gone rogue. We'd definitely love to hear your contribution right here on the Friday Briefing. SMS us on 22155, or you can tweet us directly at KTN News KE, or better yet, at Ashley Missouri, at the Jesse Rogers. We'll definitely sample your feedback as we continue with the broadcast. Let's take that short break. We'll be back with more information for you.